compliance with the Open Public Meeting Act, Chapter 231, Law of 1975, of the State of New Jersey, not to notice in this meeting the Southwood Board of Education was provided the following matter. On December 5th, 2017, the notice was faxed to the mail the following newspapers: London Tribune and the Sentinel. Also on December 5th, 2017, notice was sent to the office, Southwood Borough Clerk, and Clerk's Administration Building. At that time, the notice was also posted at the Southwood Borough Clerk's office.
Mr. Ordrick? Here. Mr. Bezak? Here. Mrs. Swett?
Here.
Mrs. Bush?
Here.
Mrs. Cruz?
Here.
Mr. Nielsen?
Here.
Mr. Rosanna?
Here.
Mrs. Ryan?
Here.
Mr. O'Leary?
Here.
Mr. Burke?
All board members have copies of the October meeting, October the 16th, and the 20th meeting.
Move minutes?
Second. Second by Mr. Nielsen. Comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Please have the floor.
Excuse me, there's one item on the agenda, Southwood Primary School.
Board members.
Move to use facilities in accordance with board policies.
Second?
Mr. Nielsen, second by Mr. Chairman. Question?
I have a question. I had heard that there was a submission for the meeting, but I know we did a blanket of free coverage for all the communities at the beginning of the year. Does that one be absorbed into that also, correct? Because I don't see it on the agenda, I just want to make sure. Yes. Okay. Thank you, that's it.
Anyone else? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Can I ask you, Mrs. Cruz?
What's now or about the finance?
No, we'll do that now.
We just recently had, this evening, our excellent review regarding our school budget audit, finance audit, and Mr. Sinkowitz is here in the audience from the Planning Company. And I'd like to invite you to the podium to tell us your findings.
Yeah.
Good evening, members of the board. We're not recording this time. Yeah. So we were engaged back in this year. Financial records for the fiscal year ended June 30, 2017. Audit is done in accordance with the standards established by the American Institute of CPAs, the Government Accounting Office, and the New Jersey Department of Education. There are other auditing standards that we follow as well, those relate to the Government Office. All those standards that we followed, we prepared our audit plan, we executed our audit. The audit is actually a combination of us doing testing as well as us auditing the financial records that are presented, meaning your balance sheets, your cash accounts, your receivable accounts. So most of our work was done in October and into November. What we do is we select samples, we do random samples based on payroll, based on expenditures, based on revenues. As has been the case in the past, we've had all good results from the audit testing that we've done. Prior to releasing the report, we had an exit conference with the management of the district, the superintendent, and the business administrator. There was opportunity for them to review the audit reports prior to it being issued. We issued the report on December 4th, and prior to this meeting tonight, we had a finance committee meeting down the hallway there where we discussed the audit report. Unfortunately, there are no findings, and I say that unfortunately because there's not a lot to talk about, but we've had good audit results here for many years. The system is set up to give good results. Biggest thing you have to know is that with regards to expenditures, all expenditures are properly documented. They're in compliance with the public school contracts law. They're properly accounted for with respect to fiscal year, and they're properly charged to the right account codes. We do a lot of testing in that area. The other thing with payroll, the gross payroll for each individual employee that was tested was proper. Payroll agencies, meaning the withholdings, were paid over timely to the government. We looked at the food service fund records. It's a $1 million operation, and we examined their payroll, we examined their expenditures, even though they're not ours, but we get billed for it. And we also do a verification of the meal counts that are claimed for reimbursement. So, again, we get all good results, and most importantly, the records as presented, which is a general ledger, revenue reports, expenditure reports, bank reconciliations. The bank reconciliations are done by the treasurer of school monies, and you're going to hear an expression, cash is king. Well, cash is king. Your general ledger for cash ties to the bank reconciliation, which is of utmost importance. That means we have a very good starting point to do the audit. Once we know that the cash is in balance, then the rest of the documents fall into line. So we go through our testing. We make inquiries of employees over there who are in key spots in payroll and expenditures, and some of the grant people that we get involved with, one of them is sitting here today. Go through that whole process, and we get all good results. So in the end, what we have is an auditor's opinion that is contained in the thicker of the two documents. The thicker of the documents is the CAF, or the Comprehensive Annual Financial Report. That's a document that is sort of a joint venture in the preparation of it between us and the business office. We're presented with the numbers, the amounts, and from there we do our audit, we put them into report format, and we come up with this rather thick document. The only thing inside this document that belongs to me, and my firm, is the independent auditor's opinion. That opinion is what is now known as a modified opinion, meaning there is no modifications to proper accounting principles relative to school districts. Okay? Again, based on all the good results we had, we have no choice, we have to give an unmodified opinion. In the old days, it was known as a clean opinion or an unqualified opinion. Basically what it does is it says that the records as presented by your finance department and your business office and your manager present fairly in all material respects the financial condition of the district for the year ending June 30th of 17. The other document, and by the way, inside the larger document is a lot of statistical information that again is generated jointly between us and the business office, and we also have to extract information from other sources like municipality, Department of Labor, and various statistics that go into the document. The document is designed to give someone who knows nothing about South River the ability to relatively quickly get a handle on a little bit of information about what South River is all about. It has statistical information on employment, demographic information on income. A lot of information is in here. And when does it matter? It matters when you go to sell bonds, when you go to get evaluated for your creditworthiness. So it's important, though, that we keep that information updated as current as possible, because there's always someone looking at something. So it is accurate. We're happy to report to the board that we have an unmodified opinion. The thinner of the two documents is actually my representation completely to the board about the operation of the business office for the school year, fiscal year. Again, as I indicated earlier and emphasized, we had all good results in all the different areas that we tested. And as a result, we had no findings that would require us to make a recommendation, and as a result, there are no findings that require a corrective action plan to be adopted by the board. The board merely has to accept the audit in accordance with the statutes and with generally accepted just business principles that you accept the audit. It's a requirement by statute, but it's also a good business practice to acknowledge the acceptance of the audit. We have, I don't know if you wanted to get into any of the numbers or the information, or, but
I think the most important part was that it was a clean and unmodified opinion.
Okay.
And that, you know, thank you very much for your time. I know you met with the superintendent and the business administrator, and then you came back and you met with us tonight.
Well, that's okay.
And then you came back to our public meeting.
That's okay.
Really appreciate it.
That's part of the process. We're happy to do it, and it's always happy and good when we have good results.
Yeah, does anyone have any questions for Jerry?
No.
And I appreciate your time, your indulgence, and your support. And just want to indicate if you have any questions about whether you can channel them through Ken, and or the superintendent, we're happy to answer them. I'm in the area a lot, it's not a problem to stop in and answer any questions, so. Pretty much though, with regards to the numbers, your BA he has a handle on the information, so if it's about, hey, how much is this or that, he's got a handle on all that stuff. And we try and trip him up and find something, but it's been very difficult, and I say that kiddingly. But we do get a very good presentation, and the support staff, I might add, they're very helpful in the process of the audit. I would like to say thank you to them, so.
Thank you very much for
Thank you,
coming.
thank you, Mr. Segris.
Happy holidays.
No problem.
Happy holidays.
Thank you.
Mrs. Tripp, let me include that in the consent resolution. In the financial report,
Yes, be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby certifies that it is in receipt of the financial report which indicates that no major account has been overexpended and that sufficient funds are available to meet the district's financial obligations for the remainder of the fiscal year. The Finance Committee recommends that the reports of the Board Secretary and the Treasurer of School Monies for October 2017 be approved, and I so move.
motion by Mrs. Tripp.
Second.
Second by Mr. Nielsen. Comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried.
Good night, Jerry.
We will then go to the superintendent's report. Mrs. Richard.
Thank you, Mr. Rivera. A few items for this month. First, let me begin by saying I've received some wonderful feedback on all of our holiday concerts, our winter concerts at all of our schools. I had the pleasure of being able to attend the elementary concert. It was led by our new music teacher, Jordan Fish. The feedback that I received was just wonderful from our parents, teachers. There were scarves, dancing. It was quite a performance. So really congratulations to him for his very first set of shows this season. Also, as you know, we've had some tricky weather the past couple of weeks and have had to make some decisions on events. We've had some tricky weather over the weekend when we've had ACT testing, for example, breakfast with Santa. But thank you to our facilities department, our buildings and grounds department for really keeping us safe during that time and putting us in a place where we were able to stay open and carry through on those events. We did have an administrative meeting just this morning to discuss specific areas that we know we need to address on a continuous basis, and just making sure that we have everything covered and safe on those icy and snowy days. We continue to use our phone system to make announcements for school closings, but also our district website is the quickest, best access to school closing information as well. So I really encourage everyone to make sure they're on that website. On the main page of the website, we'll always have that information posted really first thing in the morning, even before the call goes out. So that's definitely a good resource. I want to talk about Seal of Biliteracy. This is new to our district this year. This is an initiative that's being led by our Director of Curriculum, Dr. Trevisano. The Seal of Biliteracy is a great opportunity open to districts in New Jersey. It's headed by the Department of Ed. And what it does is it provides bilingual students the opportunity to receive this seal, proving that they are bilingual indeed, which goes on their transcript, on their high school transcript, and there's been some conversation of it going on their high school diploma as well. So for students in a community like ours, we have a large population of bilingual students. This is a real great benefit. It gives them a leg up on in terms of seeking jobs, in terms of seeking college opportunities. So it's a real great program to participate in, and we're participating for that for the first time this year. As a district, we get to select and apply to the state in terms of what languages we want to participate in. We've chosen two. We've chosen Spanish and Portuguese. So our students, our juniors and seniors, have an opportunity, if they are bilingual, to basically go through an assessment, an exam, and if they pass, they get the Seal of Biliteracy, like I said, on their transcript. Real great opportunity. The test has a minimal fee of $20, which we can waive for students on free and reduced lunch as well. So real great opportunity. We're sending out information to our students through our English classes, since all of our students have an English class, and we'll be able to access that information to all of them in that way. And really looking for kids who want to take on this opportunity. But we're real excited about this program. The next thing I wanted to mention was early December was Computer Science Week. And we had an opportunity to participate in Hour of Code. I sent some resources and some literature to our teachers for activities that they could do for Hour of Code. And many of them wrote me back, sent me pictures of things that our students participated in. Even our littlest ones at the primary school participated in a coding activity that involved making bracelets and beads and having a specific code to make those bracelets. So that was very exciting. We posted some of that on our Facebook page as well. And our teachers are really taking on the activities that were provided by code.org when we received our grant. If teachers participate in activities and they collect a certain amount of lessons or activities that they take on, they receive different supplies. And we had a huge delivery of supplies that are being sent to our teachers just because they've been doing the lessons and participating. So that's really great news there. And also in Friday's ERAM, I sent a resource to parents that I hope they can take advantage of. It's called Table Talk. And it's just really a resource that helps parents with some guiding questions and guiding prompts during conversations with kids about topics that they might see on the news. It's especially related to current events. So kids hear a lot of things at school about what's happening in the world. They hear a lot of things on TV if the news is on while they're home. And if they have questions and are curious about what they're hearing, especially if it's sensitive subject matter, this is a good resource for parents to tap into to have those sensitive conversations with kids. There are some table talk activities as well for teachers. We'll be sending that out in case those types of discussions come up in school and how to handle that sensitive, the nature of those topics. I also wanted to mention, I had the opportunity to, I was asked by the Education Service Commission to participate in a podcast recently. They needed a superintendent from Middlesex County. They reached out to me to participate in this podcast, so that was a great opportunity for our district. And the topic of the podcast was on community-based learning, so opportunities for students with disabilities to participate in learning activities in the community outside of school, and what those opportunities could look like, how to tap into employers that might want to take on students with disabilities, and really give them a chance at a true work life and just real world opportunities. It was a great discussion. I'll post a link to the podcast. One of the people present at the podcast was the president of Popcorn for the People, which is the fundraiser that we've had here in the district. That was purely coincidental, but it was great to connect a face to a fundraiser that we've been just really pursuing and tied to. So great opportunity overall. I was happy to participate, and great that South River really was able to be recognized for participating in something like that.
Okay. Board members, your pleasure.
That's the superintendent's report.
Motion by closed, second by Mrs. Beck. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. We will go directly into the committee reports. The consent resolution will be at the end of the committee reports after we open the meeting to the public for their comments. So, the committee reports, the athletic committee, Mr. Beck?
Just let everybody know the Fall Sports Awards are actually held on December 4th. Congratulations to all the middle school and high school athletes. We had approximately 200 fall athletes in the high school. Interesting little tidbit, approximately 60%, 121 were letter winners, and 75 of those 200 were honor roll students, which is about 38%. I think those numbers are, I like those numbers. I like to see the honor roll be a little higher, but we've got all these students partaking. Winter sports are up and running now. We have bowling, basketball, wrestling, and cheerleading. And so concludes my report.
Anybody have a question? No? Something around?
Thank you, Mr. Rangwood. Under Buildings and Grounds, as our superintendent, Ms. Zurcher
mention, we did have some snow days. Well, not snow days, we had some snowfall, and we didn't incur any snow days. The supervisor of buildings and grounds continues to keep the buildings running and in tip-top shape. Let's hope that this is all the snow that we get, but I have a feeling it's not going to be. If there's any other comments or questions?
You may want to check the air conditioning, it's supposed to be 60s next week.
So that concludes the buildings and grounds report, thank you.
Thank you. And finance, Ms.
Yeah, 8 items tonight. Approve, accept 2016-17 comprehensive accounting report audit. 2, approve 2017-18 non-public technology grant purchase for Pillars Missouri Academy. 3, approve tuition contract preschool program 2017-18 school year. 4, approve award contract 2017-18 Linda Moon Bell Learning Processes Learning Ability Evaluation Service Provider. 5, approve submit Elementary Secondary Education Act ESEA amended consolidated application fiscal year 2017 carryover funds. 6, approve tax requisitions. 7, approve line item transfers. And 8, approve requisition list. Any questions? So concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Levitt. There's 6 items tonight. Number 1, approve professional development and travel expenses 2017-2018 school year. Number 2, approve field trips 2017-2018 school year. Number 3, approve home instruction services 2017-2018 school year. Number 4, adopt revised 2017-18 school calendar. And board members are revised, was in your packet, I believe?
Yes.
Okay, or in the folder, one or the other, but you have a copy?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all.
Number 5, accept donation microwave, and that is from the South River High School PTSA, and the microwave is being donated to the high school. And number 6, accept donation of a piano, and that is a full piano, stand-up piano, and it is going to the primary school. And the donation was made by Mr. and Mrs. Lucille and Robert Gregory, actually. Yeah, some of you know them. And when we vote on this, Mr. Oiluda and Mr. Kukuska, I will be abstaining on number 6 because Lucille Gregory is my first cousin. Okay.
Okay, please have that.
Any questions?
I just had a quick question regarding the 2 half-days. Are we going to like blanket that, like starting tomorrow, so people can be prepared for?
Yes, after board approval, we're going to give notification right away.
Okay, thank you.
Good. Okay, well, that concludes my report. Thank you.
And negotiations, Mr. Point?
We have nothing active as far as collective negotiations goes. We're in the implementation phases of the collective bargaining agreements, which is always an ongoing issue, but no negotiations active right now.
Okay. And policy, Mr. Bush?
3 items on the agenda today. 1, approve updated policy manual. 2, approve new job description, safety resource officer. And 3, approve new job description, safety ambassador advisor.
Anybody have a question on anything? And Mr. Nielsen?
Thank you, sir. We have 17 items under human resources. 1, approve resignation, Shannon Catroni, middle school language arts and special education teacher. 2, approve disability leave, intermittent family leave, Carrie Lubachinsky, accounts payable, business office 2017-2018 school year. 3, approve intermittent family leave, Catherine DiLorenzo, middle school math teacher 2017-2018 school year. 4, approve disability leave, Rebecca Joby, middle school science teacher 2017-2018 school year. 5, approve disability leave, Claudia Curcio, primary school teacher 2017-18 school year. 6, approve leave of absence, Bernadette Haas, lunch aide 2017-18 school year. 7, approve appoint substitutes 2017-2018 school year. 8, approve appoint Carl Buffalino, school safety specialist 2017-2018 school year. 9, approve appoint Bonnie Francione, safety ambassador 2017-18 school year. 10, approve appoint Joanne Devlin, substitute mail delivery person 2017-18 school year. 11, approve transfer Stephanie Height, part-time primary school, elementary school special education teacher to primary school special education teacher 2017-18 school year. 12, approve appoint Stephanie Height, primary school before and or after school Title I grade 2 Grade 2 Math Intervention Teacher 2017-18 school year. 13, approve employee wages and salaries for 10 to 12-month employees, 2017-18 school year. 14, approve appoint Kevin Feaster, additional staff athletic events, 2017-18 school year. 15, approve resignation for retirement, Catherine DiLorenzo, middle school mathematics teacher. 16, approve intermittent family leave, Kara Masucci, speech teacher, 2017-18 school year. 17, approve appoint Katie Brown, primary school ESL teacher, 2017-18 school year. That's it.
Anyone have anything? Okay, safety and risk management, Mr. Humphrey?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I have 5 on the agenda tonight. Number 1, approve annual review of the memorandum of the agreement between education and law enforcement officials. Number 2, approve Route T1008 to South River Public Schools, Educational Services Commission of New Jersey, 2017-18 school year. Number 3, approve Route T1017 to New Road School, Educational Services Commission of New Jersey, 2017-18 school year. Number 4, approve Route T1027 to South River Public Schools, Educational Services Commission of New Jersey, 2017-2018 school year. The last one, number 5, approve Route T1036 to South River Public Schools, Educational Services Commission of New Jersey, 2017-2018 school year.
Anyone have a question? School community relations, Mr. Basil?
Yes, I have 7 items on the agenda tonight, Mr. President. The first one, November Student of the Month for the 6th grade, is Christy Rubio. Christy believes that good character is an important trait to exhibit and wants to be a role model to her fellow students. She really wants to cheer up people who are having a bad day. Her daily goal is to make new friends, especially ones that are respectful and kind. Art is Christy's favorite subject, and because she enjoys creating new things. When Christy has free time, she spends time with her friends. Congratulations, Christy. Next item on the agenda, the November Student of the Month for the 7th grade is Natalie Mead. Natalie strives for excellence in all of her classes, demonstrated by her outstanding grades throughout the first marking period of 7th grade. Natalie is a hard worker, active participant within the South River Middle School. She is motivated, organized, polite, and always willing to help others. Her favorite subject is math, for she finds it interesting and catches on easily. In addition to her academics, Natalie enjoys playing baseball with her friends. She writes songs and sings them with her family. During the winter months, she enjoys snowboarding. It is for these reasons that Natalie represents a true model of what the South River stands for through her hard work and dedication to the South River School District by honoring her as a Student of the Month for November. Congratulations, Natalie. The third item is a November Student of the Month for the 8th grade is Kylie Monick. Kylie gets her excellent grades from trying in school every day. She states that you don't have to be really smart to get good grades, you just have to try in class and do the work. She enjoys all subjects and all of her teachers. She feels that every subject has equal importance and she puts 100% into everything she does. She believes that all teachers should be respected and that they are doing their jobs by teaching her, and she respects them. Kylie is part of the yearbook committee here at South River Middle School, and she attends an art class at Red Bank on the weekends. She is very into drawing and graphic arts. Congratulations, Kylie. The next item, the first quarter honor roll for the middle school. We have 44 students that made the principal's list, 87 students that made the honor roll, and the high honor roll, and 83 students that made the honor roll. Congratulations to all the students who made the honor roll list. The next item on the agenda, congratulations to Maria Gartenberg, a special education teacher at the South River Elementary School, who has been recognized by the NJE Frederick L. Hipp Foundation for Excellence in Education as a grant recipient. Mrs. Gartenberg's project was teaching literacy throughout art. We are proud to recognize Ms. Gartenberg's accomplishment. The next item on the agenda, congratulations to Aiden Bepath, a 4th grade student at South River Elementary School who has been selected as one of our 4 finalists of the Kids Flaunt Essay Contest. This contest is sponsored by the Scholastic as a way in which children learn to recognize their own unique qualities and in turn become more accepting of the differences of their peers. We are proud to recognize Aiden's accomplishments. And the last one is the first quarter honor roll for elementary school. For the first quarter, we have 28 students in the 3rd grade who made the honor roll, 28 students in the 4th grade who made the honor roll, and 26 students in the 5th grade. I'd like to congratulate all the students, and last, I'd like to wish everybody happy and safe holiday. That's all I have.
Anyone else have anything to add?
No, I think that's really impressive. The elementary, the numbers always sound small, but you have to have straight A's.
Yes,
You
that's
can't
very
have a
good.
B plus, you have to have
Right.
straight A's, that's
Right.
pretty impressive,
And it's about the same in each grade, I think is nice.
yeah.
Anyone else? This time we'll open the meeting to the public. Any comments or questions on the items that have been on the agenda for the committees? Anyone from the public? Not, we will close the public portion of the meeting, and we will continue with the consent resolution.
The South River Board of Education, by means of a consent resolution, adopt various resolutions of routine and non-controversial nature when signed. Whereas the below listed resolutions are hereby adopted by said Board of Education in whole as if the same were individually acted upon. And the finance items 1 through 8, under instruction items 1 through 6, under policy and legislation items 1, 2, and 3, under human resources items 1 through 17, safety and risk items 1 through 5.
Any board members, your pleasure?
Move the consent resolution?
Motion by Mr.
Second.
Cruz, second by Mr. Andre. One exception will be the
Yeah, I'll be abstaining on
Rosanna.
number 6.
Anybody else? Roll call.
Mr. Andre?
Yes.
Mr. Bezak?
Yes.
Mrs. Beck?
Yes.
Mrs. Bush?
Yes.
Mrs. Cruz?
Yes.
Mr. Nielsen?
Yes.
Mr. Rosanna?
Yes, with the exception of number 6 under instruction, as to which I abstain.
Mrs. Urbanic?
Yes.
Mr. Weinlander?
Yes, motion so carried. Our liaison to the council, Mrs. Cruz.
I have no update for this evening.
Our PTA liaison, Mrs. Beck.
Okay. The meetings that were held this month were very few because of all the concerts that were going on, that were many. I made it to a few of them. And the ones I made it to were really good, loved it. At the primary school did have their meeting. They're working on fundraising activities. Elementary school, I missed that one as a conflict, didn't realize the time changed. Same thing, everybody's working on fundraising activities and getting ready for the winter break. And then, let's see what else we have. The next meetings for all of them in January. Primary school is January 24th at 6:30. Elementary school is at January 2nd at 6:30. Middle school, January 2nd at 5:30, so middle school, then elementary school, same night. High school, I don't have a date for them for January, I don't think they have one. And then SEPTA will be on January 11th at 6:30. They'll have a speaker. I don't recall which one it was, but if you check out Facebook page or the PTA website, there'll be more information there. And so concludes my report this month.
I have something to add for SEPTA, because Danielle couldn't be here this evening, she asked me to give an update. So she just wanted everybody to know that Popcorn for the People fundraiser, the deadline has been extended. It was December 8th, it is now December 20th, which I believe is Wednesday. Yes, on the meeting time. And she asked me to read the following, so bear with me as I read her statement that she emailed me. To those of you who have already joined, and for those who would like to join SEPTA as a member of the 17-18 school year, we thank you. Your support is appreciated, and with that, we could still use help. Over the past few years, SEPTA board has been running basically on a skeleton crew. As a president, she has several goals or visions for the organization. To keep the organization going is first and foremost to make sure we have dedicated volunteers in place to ensure that we can work with running our programs and that are equally divided among the schools, to be a resource to parents, to turn into ideas to help their students on their educational journey, and to bring more awareness and participation to our groups, which she's been doing with the presentations now. This vision I am finding is not achievable with our current situation, and that is where I'm asking you to come in. We are currently requesting your commitment to help make our organization a resource to the parents in the district and look for help, guidance, and support for their children as the primary educator. Danielle would like you to reach out to her at septa@southriverpta.org for anybody who's interested in joining and becoming a member of her board so that they can continue with the programs. And that is all.
Anyone else? No? The library funds, Lisa?
Nothing to do with this time, Mr. President.
Okay. And our educational foundation.
Yes, and I don't think Shanetta said she was gonna try to get here, but no. So, the only thing I have to report is, again, January 19th is gonna be here before you know it. It's the 3rd annual dinner dance. It's going to be at the Ria Mar. It includes a buffet and soda. Tickets are $60 between now and January 15th. It becomes $70 at the door. There's a flyer attached to the e-rams that Mrs. Zurcher sends out. So it is a really good time for all that's attended in the past, so that is that.
And Mr. Martin?
We have a couple things to discuss in executive session, but nothing for public, Mr. Rowland.
Okay. And our student rep has been excused from this evening. Is there any older new business before the board?
Just a few things very quickly, Mr. Raywood, if I may. I want to thank on behalf of the board, Lucille and Bob Gregory for their generous donation of the piano. I had the privilege of attending the National Honor Society / Wall of Fame dinner last week. And we had, it was great, it was absolutely great. And we had 26, was it, Mrs. Zurcher? 24 students inducted into the National Honor Society. Now, considering our population, that's a really high percentage. And considering the constraints of that membership, it's quite an achievement for those students. And the fact that we had so many students qualify tells me that our students and our staff are doing an excellent job. So the school system's doing a great job, and that's part of the proof. I was able to attend the first grade concert the other night. It was great. Mr. Fish did a super job with these kids, and pretty much, as Mrs. Zurcher pointed out, same kind of concert. And we're very lucky to have him. So congratulations, Mr. Fish and Element and the primary school staff, first grade teachers. It takes a lot to get a concert done. All the teachers have to cooperate, and they did. So thank you all. I want to thank Mr. Kukuska, after hearing Mr. Stanquist's report, for I don't know how many years in a row, 15, 20, whatever it is, 17. There hasn't been one penny out of place ever. So that tells you what kind of a wonderful BA we have and a wonderful staff we have in that office. So thank you, Mr. Kukuska.
Thank you.
And I'm sad, I guess everybody knows by now, one of our longtime teachers passed away, Mr. Ed Timko, who touched so many lives. He was an 8th grade science teacher for decades. And when I first started teaching at the old junior high, I would sit in the teacher's room and listen to him. And I learned so much from him just by listening to his conversations. And he helped make me a better teacher. So my condolences to the Timko family. And that's about it. So
One other question.
Yeah.
Any more word on the charter school?
No, not yet. Not yet. The task force from the NJSBA is being formed, and that's going to be their job to investigate further, because as I reported last month, Delegate Assembly was not happy with the job they did, the job that the administration of NJSBA did. We said, no, that's wrong, can't be right. So, as soon as I find out, I'll report.
Mr. Rose, the biggest, most fiscally concerning charter school in your immediate area was that Thomas Edison charter school for technology that was a big application in Old Bridge last year. Old Bridge has confirmation that there's no application, they're not trying again this year.
They're not.
Good.
So you have, at least on that front, there's some time, at least another year before that battle will be faced again.
Agreed. Anything else?
Yeah, I'd like to also commend on the music teacher, Mr. Fish. I was there with 2 of my children being at the concert. He and Mr. Verzano were together there at the front. And I want to compliment Mr. Fish. Great. I had a few minutes with him talking, and just a gentleman, dedicated. You can see that he really cares, and he's got a bright future ahead of him.
Thank you, Mr. Anyone else?
Then I'm going to go on to that one. Somebody's mentioned Miss Radigan. She does an awesome job. She, honestly, I don't think those kids they don't see the audience. They just see her energy and spirit. They're just, she gets them wrapped up, and they have a great time out there. They put on a great show. Every one of the concerts I've been to that she's been at has been great. All of them.
Anyone else? None? We'll open the meeting to the public. Comments or questions on any item whatsoever? Comments or questions are limited to 10 minutes.
Happy holidays, everyone. John Zapata, 35 Minor Street. I've been asked by a couple of aides in the school district to come up and speak to the board about one issue. For half a day's, Mission 1 is now going to be paying the aides for a half a day, but they're taking the work day as a half a day and using it. So, for instance, now the aides are being paid for 5.5 hours of work. It's actually 6 hours, but there's a half hour unpaid. The half a day they'll only be paid for 2.7 hours. Meanwhile, their work day is actually 4 hours. So it's concerning to them that they're being paid for 2.7 hours when they're actually working 4 hours. It's not a true half a day, even though it's referred to as a half a day in the school district. So they've taken it up with Mission 1. It really hasn't been addressed with them yet. Earlier on in the year, there was a problem with Mission 1 not understanding that a tenth of an hour is actually 6 minutes and not 10 minutes. So I was asked if I could come to the board and ask if someone at the board can address this issue as far as the half a day actually being 4 hours of work, not 2.7 hours of work.
I'm not sure of the answer to that, John, to be honest with you. Since we've gone with Mission 21, they are completely a separate organization. And I said, we have control over them to the extent that if they're not operating properly, we can get rid of them and go back to the old. But as far as, I guess there's no problem actually in calling them down on behalf of the, board, worried about their employees.
But it was my understanding that the aides were going to be paid by the hour. They were running into a problem, I think, Mission 1,
Okay.
in the clocking in.
We can check that out.
And they started with a per diem type rate, where they said, all right, if you show up for the day, we're just going to pay you what equals to 5.5 hours of work. And then came the half-day situation, and then, what do you do in that situation? So it was thought that it would be the per diem for whatever amount of hours it is for a half a day of work, but they just took the term half day and took the 5.5 hours and divided it by 2, as opposed to actually seeing how many hours of work. So, because right now, for a half a day working in as an aide, they work 4 hours with no break. So in essence, it's an hour and a half difference as far as a work day for the aides, but they're having their pay cut in half as a result of just the term being used of half a day.
I think, if I may, I think part of the problem, as Mr. Zapata just said a couple seconds ago, the term half-day is not accurate. It's a one-session day. And if that one session day is 4 hours, and they should be paid for 4 hours, I think perhaps we ought to ask Mrs. Zurcher to investigate. Because if that's true, if that's true, then we're paying for a service that we're not getting.
Maybe we could call it something like an abbreviated session day, because that's really what it is, an abbreviated day rather than a half a day.
Maybe we'll have to make some kind of.
I don't know.
Talk about it.
You first have to look through the contract.
Yeah, we
and
can look
see
at
what
the
what
contract
it
first.
says.
I think you have to,
They're not,
if people are working more than a half a day, that half a day shouldn't say that they only get paid. They should get paid for the time they work.
Exactly.
Right, so just two things to reiterate. One is what Mr. Wailuda said, that Mission 1 is its own entity, and our aides do work for Mission 1. What we did reach out to Mission 1 when this was brought to our attention. We did reach out to Mission 1. Their position is that in order to be paid for that you can either be paid for a full day or the half day. The half day is 4.25 hours. What they're contending is that and it's a small number of people, this issue does not pertain to all of our aides. It's only on half days for those aides who work at the preschool and at the elementary school, I believe. Their half day or early release day does not add up to that 4.25.
It's more than
It's less than that, it's less than that. And that's where the issue lies.
My understanding is though, that if you work 4.25 hours, you're getting paid for a full day's work.
4.25 hours or more, you get paid for a full day, correct?
So
We actually have some people with the opposite
We may
taking
have two
place.
issues going on.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's, either way, it's a budgetary issue for the board.
Well, it's really not. It's not a budgetary issue for the board, Mr. Zapata, in that it is truly subcontracted. As Mr. Weyler and Ms. Zurcher said, it's outsourced. We are not, as a school district, the employer of these individuals, even though they are working here. So, it's,
It was my understanding that, in addition to the contract issue, they're reimbursed for whatever they paid for their employees. I thought that's how it was presented, when this came in last year.
no, they are paid by Mission One.
I know
Mission
it's
One is paid by the
but
board.
I thought the school district then reimburses the cost of whatever the employees are.
We pay the
We
contract.
still pay the contract rate.
I wasn't sure, but I was under that impression, I apologize if I was wrong, but that's, just looking at it, that's what's been going on, and, you know, as I said, I just wanted to bring it to everyone's attention, it is something relatively minor, but to some people it is significant, so, I mean, there are, some people that work in the preschool, that they're single parents, that this is their only source of income, so being paid for 2.7 hours as opposed to the full 4 hours that they're working, it makes a difference to them. And, I would not belittle it to anyone, I'm not in anyone else's situation, and it might be important to them, so the fact that, my opinion is that if you work, you should be paid for it, so, just because you call it half a day, you shouldn't be treated as a half a day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Anyone else? Not, we close the public portion of the meeting, and we will go into closed session.
Do you want to do the bills?
I'll pay the bills, yeah.
The Finance Committee recommends that all bills presented having been certified by the School Business Administrator, Board Secretary, be paid as listed, and I so move.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Cruz, second by Mr. Zama, comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
So carried.
Rich tries to save us money, we gotta go spend it.
Okay. Resolve that pursuant to section 8 of the Open Public Meeting Act, the following subject to be discussed at a Board of Session closed to the public is
It's a personnel issue and 2 confidential student issues.
it is anticipated that the item to be discussed in closed session will disclose to the public when it's been resolved. Do I hear a motion?
Nielsen?
Push.
Motion by Mr. Nielsen, second by Mrs. Bush. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Oh, happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays.